Hello everyone. In this class, we'll try to learn about what is hemocytometer and what are the principles of hemocytometry. Hemocytometer in hematological practicals usually are utilized to enumerate RBCs, WBCs, and platelets, sometimes even sperms in the semen. A hemocytometer consists of a thick glass microscope slide with grid of perpendicular lines etched in the middle. The grid has specific dimensions so that the area covered by the lines is known, which makes it possible to count the number of cells in a specific volume of solution. So then the number of cells can be converted into number of cells present in 1 cubic millimeter. Description of Newbur's chamber. So this is a Newbur's chamber. It's a single heavy glass slide counting chamber. There is a central depressed platform separated on each side from remaining platform by shallow trenches. So these are the shallow trenches. The surface level of this platform is 1 by 10 mm lower on which the cover slips rests. The depressed platform is divided into two parts by short transverse gutter, which are called as trenches. Each platform has got improved Newburgh rulings. So this slide is also called as Thomas's slide. So in the slide you can see the raised platforms over which the cover slide is placed. Okay. And these are the etched counting chambers. Okay, and you can see the depth between the cover slip and the ruled area. So that is about 1 by 10 millimeter. So this is how the etched area looks. Okay, so it has a specific dimension. Uh, so the length and breadth of the etched area is 3 millimeter, 3 millimeter in breadth and 3 millimeter in length. So this area is oftenly divided into WBC counting chambers. Okay, so these peripheral corners they are utilized for the counting of WBCs, whereas the central line, central square, it has it will be utilized for the counting of the RBCs. So this central square divided into further 16 small squares, and the central square which is utilized for the RBC count is again divided into 25 small squares by triple lines to identify these chambers. And the intermediate squares further they have been divided into again 16 small squares by single lines where we will be counting actually RBCs. So RBCs are counted in the 5 of the chambers of the central square. So this is another diagram showing where the WBCs are counted. WBCs are counted in the peripheral chambers, peripheral corners, which are called as left upper, right upper, left lower, and right lower. And this is the central square, wherein uh, the central square has been divided into 5 uh, equal divisions. That means there will be 25 small divisions. Okay, so again each small intermediate square is being divided into 16 small squares in which the RBCs are going to be uh, counted. Okay, so these are the 5 squares you are utilized for counting of RBCs. Okay, so as I told, okay, so the length and breadth of the each WBC counting area is 1 millimeter, and the total the area becomes 1 millimeter square, and the depth becomes 1 into 1 into 1 by 10 is equal to 1 by 10 millimeter cube. There are 9 squares whose length and breadth is 1 millimeter each. So the total area is 9 millimeter square. That is the total area of the Newburgh chamber. There are four corner squares, as I told. One at the upper uh, and left is known as left upper square. One at the lower and left is known as lower left square. Similarly, there are upper and lower right squares, upper right and lower right. These four corner squares are marked by an extra line in their periphery for their easy demarcation. Every corner square is divided into 16 small squares by 3 horizontal lines and 3 vertical lines. The counting areas which are used for the WBC count, the each corner square has a length of 1 millimeter, breadth of 1 millimeter, and area is 1 by 1 millimeter square. And volume is, as we discussed, so it is 1 into 1 into 1 by 10 millimeter cube. And the area in which we count the RBCs, that is called as intermediate square. The volume of each intermediate square is 1 by 5, 1 by 5 into depth 1 by 10 is equal to 1 by 250 cubic millimeter. Okay, so in such 5 squares we are going to count WBC. So the RBC. So RBC counting area becomes 5 divided by 250, that is 1 by 50 cube. So that is um, the the area or the volume in which we are going to count RBCs. So each smallest square, that is the smallest square of the RBC counting chamber, the length is 1 by 20 mm and breadth is also 1 by 20 mm, and the volume becomes 1 divided by 4000 cubic millimeter. The central square, I mean, as I told, it is utilized for the RBC count. So it is being divided into 25 small squares. These are marked by triple lines for the easy identification of the one of the small square from other. So each small square again divided into 16 smallest squares by single line. Okay. So uh, so when you identify the WBC squares, whether it is right, left, right, left, right, upper, left, right, lower, and RBC square as shown in the figure, so examine them under both low power and high power. So note that you can see only one of the 9 squares present in Newber's ruling, that is under low power, that is the area of 1 millimeter square. Under high power, you can see one of the 16 small squares in WBC counting square and one of the 25 small squares in RBC counting square. Okay. So these are the diluting pipettes. They are called as RBC pipettes and WBC pipettes. So these pipettes are used for the diluting, for the dilution of the blood. Okay. So usually when we are doing RBC count up to 0.5 mark, the blood is sucked and the remaining 101 volume, the up to 1 knot volume, the diluting fluid, that is Heim's fluid, will be sucked. Okay, so then the diluting fluid with the blood gets mixed with uh, the blood. Okay, so the stem part, it contains only the diluting fluid and hence it will not take part in the dilution. So the 0.5 part of the 0.5 part of blood gets diluted with 1000 parts of the diluting fluid. So the dilution becomes here almost 1 is to 200. Okay. So similarly in WBC, so up to 0.5 mark the blood is sucked and the remaining up to the mark of 11 the WBC diluting fluid is sucked in. So hence the in the stem part, the that the Turk's fluid, WBC diluting fluid, will not take part in the dilution. So 0.5 part is going to be mixed with 10 parts. So the dilution here, it becomes 1 is to 20. Okay, so uh, when you are counting the WBC, the blood is diluted up to 20 times, and when you are counting the RBC, the blood is diluted by 200 times. So this is a hemocytometer which consists of the Thomas's slide, that is Newbus counting chamber, the RBC pipette, and the WBC pipette, uh, the dropper. So the difference between RBC pipette and WBC pipette are the RBC pipette, there are calibration of 0.51 below the bulb and 101 above the bulb. So bulb is larger here. The volume of the bulb is 100 times the volume of the stem. So the dilution can be here in the RBC pipette, 1 in 100 or 1 in 200. So when you uh, take the blood up to the mark of 1 and 0.5 respectively. Similarly, in WBC pipette, calibrations are 0.5, 1 below the bulb and 11 above it. Bulb is small here and it contains white bead. The volume of the bulb is 10 times the volume of the stem. Hence, the dilution can be 1 in 10 or 1 in 20 when you take the blood up to the mark of 1 and 0.5 part respectively. So this is in brief about the hemocytometry and its principle. Thank you.